I'm Shannon.
And I'm Holly.
And this is a Girls Gone Curious podcast, where we talk about things that make us curious. So grab your favorite drink, sit back and relax, because your show is loading. Today's episode includes strong language, brief mentionings of self-murder, and topics of the paranormal. This podcast is not suitable for children. We apologize if we say any of the names or places wrong in today's episode. This week's true crime category is non-murder, so let's get into it.
When we get a topic like non-murder, I like to throw in something that's a little more lighthearted and sometimes spooky. So going by that, this is the history and mystery surrounding the Queen Mary.
Dun, dun, dun.
Those of you who don't know what the Queen Mary is, it is a ship that primarily operated on the North Atlantic Ocean from 1936 to 1967. Later, it would be turned into a hotel. It began when the Cunard Line decided to build a new ship. This was to compete with the launching of the German-made ships Bremen and Europa. Sorry if I said those wrong. The Cunard Line is a British shipping company and international cruise line. The plan was to build a ship that was around 75,000 tons to replace the Mauretania, Aquitania, and the Berengaria on the North Atlantic route. I do want to say that it didn't completely replace it. It was just kind of like a newer version of all of these.
Oh, okay.
And all the three that I just mentioned are ships from the Cunard Line.
Okay.
This was not only to rival the German-made ships, but also the British ship company White Star Line. So they're both British companies, but they were kind of rivalries.
Okay.
Oceanic was built in 1929, which was 80,000 tons. That was a White Star Line ship that they were kind of competing with. Cunard's chief naval architect, George McLeod Patterson, was the principal designer of the Queen Mary, which at the time was only called Job Number 534. Construction would begin in December of 1930 on River Clyde by John Brown and Company Shipyard in Clydebank, Scotland. Why it wasn't in England, I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was a big shipyard where they made them a lot. I don't know.
Interesting.
Brown John would assist in the design and construction of the Queen Mary. But work wouldn't last long because of the Great Depression, stopping all work completely. Work wouldn't resume until after May 10th, 1934. Cunard would ask for a loan from the British government to continue the work. The government would agree to give them money to finish the ship along with a couple extra things on one condition. Cunard would also have to allow White Star Line to join them. This was because White Star Line was also struggling due to the Great Depression. So the two companies would merge and create Cunard White Star Line, making plans for the ship's launch later in 1934.
Interesting.
Yeah. In order for the Queen Mary to even be launched, they had to deepen and widen River Clyde to cope with the ship's size. Originally, they wanted to name the ship after Queen Victoria to go along with the previous ships ending in IA, However, when they told King George they wanted to name the ship after the greatest queen, he said that he and his wife, Queen Mary, would be delighted.
I mean, what are you gonna do? We didn't mean her.
Yeah, you can't really say that. So the official launch of the Queen Mary would take place on September 26, 1934. And the construction wasn't completed yet. It was just like launching it into the water.
Oh, okay.
Before it was like building it like on land.
Okay.
So this is just them putting it into the water. The ship would have 24 Yarrow boiler rooms and 4 Parsons turbines and 2 engine rooms. The boilers delivered 400 pounds per square inch of steam at 700 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jeez.
A maximum of 212,000 shaft horsepower to 4 propellers, each turning at 200 RPM. I'm trying to make myself sound smart and know what all this means, but I don't. I honestly don't.
It was a big ship.
Yeah. A big ship and had a lot of things to make it go. It was built to carry 2,038 passengers, with an overall length of 1,019 feet, 311 meters. And the gross register tonnage, which is the internal volume, was 80,774. The completion of the ship took 3.5 years, and the cost £3.5 million sterling, which was at the time equal to about $17.5 million. As of 2024, that is about $320 million.
Damn. I mean, I would be happy with either amount, whether it was 17 or 320.
Yeah. Hand it over. The Queen Mary would have 5 dining areas and 5 lounges, 2 cocktail bars, and 2 swimming pools, a grand ballroom, squash court, small hospital, beauty salons, libraries, children nurseries for all classes, music studio, lecture hall, outdoor paddle tennis court, and even dog kennels, along with a telephone that was connected to all over the world. The largest room was in the cabin class, which is first class, and it was the main dining room. It spanned 3 stories tall with anchored white columns. Also in the cabin class was one of the 2 pools spanning over 2 decks in height. Many rooms on the ship had air conditioning, and this ship was one of the first to have a Jewish prayer room. This was believed to combat the rumors of the British agreeing or like going along with like the Nazi ideation. Like trying to like make it seem like, yeah, we're not part of that pretty much. There was also the veranda grill on the sun deck that was an exclusive a la carte restaurant. At night, it would turn into the Sunlight Club. The observation bar was an Art Deco themed lounge with large windows to look out at the ocean views. All over the ship had woods from all over the British Empire, and even exotic woods from all over the world. They would have staterooms that were fully equipped and luxurious for the first class, to ones that were modest and cramped for the third class. Throughout the whole ship, it contained a theme of Art Deco with elegance and class, featuring striking murals and paintings. The Queen Mary would leave Southampton, Port City in Hampshire, England, on May 27, 1936, for their first maiden voyage, and arrive in New York on June 1st, 1936. And a maiden voyage is pretty much just the ship's first voyage. The crossing time was 5 days, 5 hours, and 13 minutes. Rich and famous people called it the only civil way to travel. Many celebrities, politicians, and prominent people would use the Queen Mary to travel. Not saying that that's the only one. There was also lower class, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of well-known people took the Queen Mary, and some of them I'll mention later.
Okay.
Too. On August 19th to the 31st, 1936, during the ship's sixth trip, they would win the blue ribbon for the fastest North Atlantic crossing from French lines Normandy. And Normandy is one of the French lines ships that they took the ribbon from. This record would be 3 days, 23 hours, and 57 minutes. The Normandy would win the ribbon back in 1937. On August 15th, 1938, Queen Mary won back the ribbon on their 48th voyage, the record being 3 days, 20 hours, and 42 minutes. They would keep this record until 1959.
Wow. That's quite a...
Yeah. On September 3rd, 1939, war would be declared. 1 day later, the Queen Mary would arrive in New York. And the following year, it would depart from New York on March 21st, 1940, heading for Sydney, Australia as a troop ship. It would eventually become known as the Grey Ghost, as it was painted navy gray. Along with the paint change, many things were taken out of the ship and stored in a location on land. This was to accommodate for the war to transport troops and equipment. So things like paintings and probably some extra like fancy furniture, stuff that wasn't needed in war.
Yeah, makes sense.
The first official troop transportation happened on May 4th, 1940. This was along with the other ships Aquitania, Mauretania II, Empress of Britain, Empress of Canada, and the Empress of Japan. This would be from Sydney to Gourock, Scotland, with 5,500 troops.
Holy shit. And it said that it could only carry less than 2,100, and they put 5,500 troops on there.
Mm-hmm. But you also got to think they took out a lot of stuff.
Oh, that's true. Damn.
As the war went on and the ship was used, it did cause damage, meaning that the ship would be dry docked multiple times until it was fixed and ready to sail again. Some of the places that the dry docking took place was Singapore and the Boston Naval Shipyard. Also, during the time that the ship was docked, it was also changed to increase the amount of troop numbers that could fit on board. I don't know exactly how they did that, whether or not they took out more stuff or...
Everybody's standing toe to heel.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damn.
From February to March 1942, the Queen Mary would make the 40 days, 40 nights voyage from Boston to Sydney, carrying its first American troops. There were 8,398 troop members and 905 crew members. On October 2nd, 1942, the Queen Mary collided with the British light cruiser Saracoa. It's unclear exactly how much, somewhere around 250 to 400 people would lose their life in this accident.
Damn.
I tried to find the exact number, but so many sites had different numbers. A lot of them mainly had 300 something though.
Did it say why they collided with the cruiser?
I don't know. I didn't quite explain that. It just said that it collided.
Okay.
I don't know if it was stormy, they didn't see each other, or honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, gotcha.
It would take 70 tons of cement to fix the Queen Mary in Scotland. On April 22nd, 1943, the ship completed the long voyage, going 37,943 miles from Gourock, Scotland to Suez, Egypt to Sydney, Australia, and then back to Gourock. May 11, 1943, Winston Churchill would use the Queen Mary to transport him from Gourock to New York to meet President Roosevelt. Churchill would also bring along 5,000 German prisoners from war over to New York. Near the end of the war, on April 19, 1945, the armament was removed from the ship except for a 6-inch gun, which I don't know how much that damage that can do. Queen Mary's final military voyage would take place on September 24th to the 27th, 1946, from Halifax to Southampton. In total, the ship carried over 810,000 troops.
Damn.
In 1947, the Queen Mary would have passenger restoration and furniture reinstallments. The first post-war voyage happened on July 31st, 1947, with 1,897 passengers and 1,280 crew members. In 1949, the Cunard Line would buy out the entire company of Cunard White Star Line, completely owning the Queen Mary. So pretty much after everything was said, Cunard's like, yeah, this is our ship now.
Mm-hmm.
From 1951 to 1954, the ship would have many well-known passengers. Some of these included Churchill, again with Anthony Eden, which I believe was secretary over there, Walt Disney, and even Queen Elizabeth. In 1958, it made a record turn of only 17 hours, 58 minutes, when it usually takes around 36 hours to turn around in New York. Once the 60s came around, the demand for traveling by ship would go down. This is when traveling by airplane would become popular. From 1961 to 1966, the Queen Mary took many trips and cruises, many to New York and some around the Mediterranean. With the interest dwindling and the ship's age, Cunard would announce the selling of the Queen Mary on April 1st, 1966. Long Beach would send in an inquiry on May 31st, 1966.
What's he like? Is that April Fool's?
The representatives of Long Beach and Cunard would meet in New York on May 25th, 1967. Only a few months later, in July, Cunard would accept a bid by Long Beach of $3.45 million. The last transatlantic crossing of the Queen Mary would be on October 31st, 1967, and it would arrive in Long Beach, California on December 9th. It was a 39-day trip because the ship could not fit through the Panama Canal. They had to sail around Cape Horn, which around southern Chile. November 12, 1967, the Queen Mary was removed from the British registry and turned over to Long Beach. The ship would be dry docked from April 6th to the 18th of 68 at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard. It would go through extensive renovations, costing about $31 million. This was to turn it into a floating hotel. The boiler rooms were removed, and the empty fuel tanks were filled with mud to keep the boat's center of gravity. Almost everything below sea deck was gutted to increase the museum and guest space. Removal of the forward engine room, both turbo generator rooms, the ship's stabilizers, and its water softening plant. only leaving the aft engine room and what they call the shaft alley, which I don't really know what that is. I'm assuming it's a hallway or creepy something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Everything else that wasn't used for the museum or hotel rooms was turned into office space or storage, or was kind of left as like a piece of history where people could tour it. But like they did keep, like they took out the boiler rooms and kind of just like replaced them with replicas. Just, I believe it's just like probably one boiler room that they did, just so people could kind of see what it was like. They would convert the first and second class cabin on the A and B deck to hotel rooms, the main lounges and dining areas into banquet spaces. The observation bar was turned into a Western theme bar. Smaller first class rooms like the library, drawing, and lecture rooms were converted into commercial use. They also expanded retail by adding 2 more shopping mall areas. The first class cinema turned into more kitchen space. The sun deck turned into a fast food eatery. And honestly, the list just goes on. Pretty much turning it into a tourist attraction. They would keep the first class pool, but get rid of the second/third class pool. Even though they kept the first class pool, no one could swim in it due to modern safety codes. Compromised structural soundness directly below the pool, using it only as a piece to view. However, they would keep water in it until about 1980. For whatever fucking reason.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
None of the second or third class crew cabins remain, and it was unclear why. I don't know if they just like gutted it and made it into a different type of space, or it wasn't structurally sound. I honestly don't know.
Interesting.
There's a couple things that I just like that are like, why'd they do this? I don't know. What happened? I don't know. It happened. That's all I know. February 27th, 1971, the ship was moved to Pier J in Long Beach. They would start the first weekend tours only on May 8th, 1971, sharing the stories of the ship and the tours of the power train and upper decks. Also in 71, they would open the Jacques Cousteau's Living Sea portion of the Museum of the Sea. In 1974, the Queen Mary would open the hotel portion with 150 rooms. September 1st, 1980, Rather Port Properties Limited signs a 66-year lease to manage the ship and its adjoining acreage. In 83, Spruce Goose Flying Boat opens next to the Queen Mary. That's what it's called. Never even heard of the place.
Yeah.
The Walt Disney Company would buy Rather Corporation for $172 million, becoming the new owners of the Queen Mary, Spruce Goose, and Disneyland Hotels on March 29th, 1988. Why they don't own the Disneyland Hotels already? I don't know. Disney remained the owner until March of 1992, when they decided to terminate the lease. But they did, however, continue running it until September 30th of 92. Around this time is when Spruce Goose would leave Long Beach and get moved to Oregon. So, side note, the Spruce Goose was made and one of the first of its kind conceived during World War II by Howard Hughes. It was a high-winged 8-engine flying boat completely made from wood, designed to land and take off from water. They were in need of a way to transport goods and troops across the Atlantic because German U-boats were sinking pretty much all the ships. Henry Kaiser proposed the idea and Hodges built it. It was intended to carry 150,000 pounds of cargo, 750 fully equipped troops, or 2 30-ton Sherman tanks. So it's like a big bitch.
Yeah.
It would fly only one time on November 2nd, 1947 in Long Beach, California. It only flew under a half mile at an altitude of 25 feet for about 30 seconds just to prove that it could fly. They started the construction in 1942, but it didn't get finished until 47. So it would never really fly again because of its size, the cost, and the end of the war. You can visit the Evergreen Museum in Oregon to see the spruce goose, if you really wanna. The Queen Mary would close completely in 1992 until they could find a new person to lease it. On February 5th, 1983, Joseph F. Prevotil, the president and CEO of RMS Foundation, Inc., would sign a 5-year lease with the city of Long Beach and act as the operator of the ship. A couple weeks later, it would reopen to the public for self-guided and guided tours, along with continuing running the restaurants that were in it. In March of 93, the hotel was reopened with 125 rooms. A month later, they would begin audio tours in English, German, Japanese, and Spanish. And eventually they would also open all of its 365 rooms.
Wow.
The last captain of the Queen Mary, John Treasure Jones.
Fitting.
That's a hell of a name.
Mm-hmm.
Passed away at 87 in his home in England. In 1997, the Queen Mary would debut an exhibit called Titanic, the Expedition. And in 2011, they would premiere the debut of Diana, A Legacy of a Princess Royal exhibit. In 2020, the pandemic, COVID-19, would cause the ship's operation to decrease. Still being open, but just having restrictions. So I'm assuming like the hotel rooms were no longer open and you had to wear masks and
you could walk in but you couldn't stay, basically.
Pretty much. That's what I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And only a couple months later they would completely shut down, besides the essential maintenance and security. On June 4th, 2021, Long Beach would gain full ownership of Queen Mary because the previous owner had to file for bankruptcy. On April 1st, 2023, the Queen Mary would officially be reopened for guests for tours. 1 month later, the hotel would also reopen. The Queen Mary remains open to this day, offering many different tours and many rooms to stay in. Question is, do you want rooms with ghosts or not?
I don't know. Are they friendly?
Depends. Fuck. You might not get a choice. So I'm going to start with just mentioning a couple of the tours that they have. And all of the tickets are non-refundable and not ADA accessible.
That makes sense because it is a ship.
It's
and
a ship.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get,
up and down stairs and all that. So there is a VIP. It is 4 hours total. There's a 3-hour guided tour and a 1-hour lunch. It's $201, ages 12 and up. Only on Saturdays right now, and it is very limited. So like when you go to the website, it's just the Saturdays for the next month, and then there's nothing further on. So I don't know, it's like a select time.
Mm-hmm.
But reservations are recommended because if you show up, you might not get it.
Yeah, that would suck.
You get access to some of the most restricted and historically significant areas. You also have a 25% off purchase at one of the Queen Mary shops. You also get one free non-alcoholic beverage and snack from Jubilee Coffee Shop.
One non-alcoholic beverage. But if I'm going to be dealing with this, I kind of might need a little sippy sip of something a little stronger.
On this one and the regular tours, they don't talk about anything paranormal.
Okay.
Nothing scary. They just talk about the history, how it was built, who was on the ship, that stuff. They don't talk about anything paranormal.
Gotcha.
That's a different type of tour.
Oh, okay.
So regular admission tours are from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. all week. Adults 12 and up are $59. Children ages 3 to 11 are $53. And senior/military discounts are $55. You get an admission to the Queen Mary, obviously. I would hope so.
Yeah.
For 1 hour. You can choose 2 different types of tours. There's the Glory Days tour. That is where the guide mainly talks about the history, the construction, and the World War II basis. And then the other one is the Steam and Steel, which they talk about the system's communication and engineering and how it was built, pretty much. And in both of these tours, you have 24 plus exhibits you have access to. Next tour is called the Queen Mary. It is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 1 hour. Adult ticket is $48, a child is $43, and a senior/military is $45. It is a self-guided tour at your own pace. It mainly focuses on the culture and creativity side. So the artwork, the woodwork of the decks, and all of that stuff. And you get access to 24 plus exhibits.
I would go on that one.
Yeah, now to get into the spooky. The special ones. The ones that you want to go on.
Maybe. Not really.
There is one during the day.
I might go on that one.
This tour is the Haunted Encounters. 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. It is 1 hour. An adult ticket is $59, children $53, and senior or military is $55. It is a guided haunted tour, and you have access to 24 plus exhibits. They talk about famous ghost sightings, haunted areas, shadow figures, unexplained sounds, chilling tales, and much more. Pretty much, it's like a regular tour, but you mainly just get all the haunted shit.
Yeah.
Next is the Paranormal Ship Walk tour.
I'm gonna pass.
This one is $80 and it is 3 and up. It is a 2-hour guided paranormal tour. It starts at 7 p.m. You get access to rarely visited areas where they are typically closed to the public and are mostly where ghosts are seen. You hear lesser known stories from crew members, visitors, and past tour groups. And lastly, you have the Graveyard Tour.
Hell no.
This is after hours, starting at 11:59 p.m. 16 and up. $90 per person. 2 hours from 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. You go beyond the usual visitor areas and get tales of ghost encounters. Some places are like the most haunted areas, like the engine room and deserted hallways. I will also get into a couple more paranormal stuff, but first I'm going to talk about the hotel stay part. So they have an assortment of rooms. They have a full and a mini suite, which can fit 4 to 6 people, and it has 3 to 4 different adjoining rooms. So it's like a really big area.
Mm-hmm.
It's anywhere from $400 to $600 a night. And you get a complimentary access to the Queen Mary's self-guided tour exhibits. I mean, I would hope so.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You have the standard staterooms that are pretty much inside, where you have no porthole to look out at the ocean.
I mean, if I'm going to go stay there, I kind of want to be able to look out.
Look out the window?
Mm-hmm.
They have kings or double beds. Anywhere from $150 to $300. It honestly depends on weekday, not weekday, time of the year, and all that. You also have deluxe staterooms, which is portside, so you get to see out. You can get a king, or you can have 2 twin beds. And it's a little larger than the standard. Anywhere from $250 to $300. Then you have the family staterooms, which is a double queen bed or a king with another twin bed. And it's anywhere from $300 to $400. And there's way more, like if you go into the hotel website, Queen Mary website, it gives way more information on each type of room and all of that stuff, but I really just didn't want to get into it.
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah. And there is many different venues for weddings or other celebrations.
What if you only invited like 250 people and you end up having 300 because there's ghosts? Do you have to pay for them?
I would hope not. And you have to send an inquiry to get the prices of this. So I don't know the prices. And once again, you can go on the website and they explain what the features of every different room.
Oh, okay.
Which I didn't really want to get into,
right,
because I was done.
Right.
This includes the Queen Salon, King's View, Royal Salon, Veranda Grill and Deck, Windsor Salon, Victoria Room, Board Room, Regent Room, Tea Room, Mauritania Room, and the Britannia Salon. And you, once again, message for price. And go to the website to look up the different types. Like, some of the features is like the veranda room. Mm-hmm. It's more of like an art place. Okay. It has like pictures of paintings and stuff, and it's like a little bit like fancier, as white, and yeah, anyways. One of the rooms has a fireplace and like a very big like mural. Mm-hmm. Other rooms have main feature is wood and gold. Gross. Sorry. If that's your thing,
that's cool. If that's your thing, not my thing.
But each room has different types of stuff, and if you want to know what each room is, go to their website and they'll show it. Because if I go through all of it, I'm gonna be here for another 20 minutes
or longer, since there's like 350 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Now for my favorite part, the spooky haunted part. One source said that it's possible that there's up to 150 different ghosts aboard the Queen Mary. Some of these ghosts could possibly be one of the following. Malcolm Atkin fell from the scaffold at the stern of the ship when it was at the John Brown shipyard on June 5th, 1934, and died. This is like when they were building the whole ship. Seaman Arthur John Francis Golding fractured his skull, assuming that he was scrubbing the decks. I don't know how exactly that happens, but I can't say anything because I've gotten a concussion from a vacuum. So, anyways, this happened on June 8th, 1936, on the maiden voyage. He was buried at sea. I don't know if this is because they had no room to put bodies in, but like being that big of a ship, you would think that they would make that, but I don't know. Leonard Horsberg was a fishing cook and had a cerebral hemorrhage due to a heat stroke and passed away. John Petter, only 18 years old when he started working in the aft engine room, he was crushed to death in watertight door number 13 on July 10th, 1966.
Oh, he has definitely got to be one of the ones haunting it. Holy shit.
Petter is actually one of the most frequent ghosts said to be seen or heard in the engine room.
Damn.
The accident happened when he was tending to a bilge pump when a safety drill occurred at 3:55 a.m. And this was like a regular drill happening.
Oh, okay.
He didn't make it through the door in time. When someone found him in the room, they said the only sign of injury was blood coming from his nose, which I don't know how exactly that works if it says that he was crushed, but I don't know. It could just mean that he was caught in the door and head was injured or something. I don't know. I'm just saying what I found. He either died there or later in the small hospital on the ship. A few years after this, a watchman was walking near door 13 with his German shepherd when his dog just stopped. The dog appeared afraid of something that the man couldn't see. Next, they heard a metallic sound moving towards them, and then pretty much booked it. Like, that's what I would do. Then a woman who was touring the area claimed to have seen a man, and then she would later point to a picture of the man that she claimed she seen. This was a picture of Petter. Some people claim that they have been chased out of that area by a shadow figure.
Fuck that shit.
And it's also said that there's a lot of like metallic sounds. So what I'm assuming is like clinking against anything metal. Yeah. I don't fucking know. Either way, I'm fucking out of there.
Right. You can have the ship, man.
You can have the whole ship. Yeah. I'm gone. Now that is just a couple of possible hundreds of people that could possibly be haunting the Queen Mary. This is also not including the big accident that happened where like 250 to 400 people died. Oh, yeah. So that could be haunting as well. Many claim to see or hear disembodied voices, strange noises, and apparitions. In 1989, in the Mauritania room, a cleaning crew was in there and noticed a guest sitting in a chair. They were about to call security to come get the person when the person just vanished. In 2001, an employee clocked in the office early, around 5:30 a.m. This office used to be the old beauty salon. After clocking in, something brushed against them. Then they saw a pale figure walking through the office before disappearing. Now you can have the office.
Yeah. It's okay, you can have the whole thing.
Grumpy is known as a spirit who growls in people's ear. And this is usually people who are in groups.
Hell no. Like, does it say if it's like the first, second, third? Why do you want to be the fourth person? Because I don't want that motherfucker growling in my ear.
Can you imagine that? You just hear like, rawr.
I would bust out laughing, which Grumpy probably wouldn't appreciate.
Yeah. Another entity is known as wearing overalls in the shafty alley near the propellers. And I don't know exactly what the shafty alley is.
Yeah, I'm curious.
I'm assuming it's something creepy in like hallway or something. Mm-hmm. One of the most haunted places in the Queen Mary is said to be room B340. It is unclear when the legend started, but it's possible that it started after a man murdered 2 women before committing self-murder. This person could be Walter J. Adamson in 1948, which was a confirmed death, but there is no record of his cause of death. Another possible story of the same person: the man killed his kid and wife, and then when police arrived, they found that he had self-murdered. Or he was murdered. Mm-hmm. Not quite sure on the details.
That's all over the place.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Mm-hmm. But then it also says, like, when the police found him, though any, like, women were... or kids weren't in the room, and it was just him that was dead. Mm. So, I don't know, and the cause of death is unknown, but it's believed that everything started after this. A woman was staying in this room when she was asleep in the bed, and when she woke up to something random, or a feeling of someone watching, there was a dark figure standing at the end of her bed. The figure then ripped off her sheets and then vanished.
Nah, motherfucker.
Yeah. This exact scenario has happened on multiple different occasions to multiple different people. And it's pretty much the same exact story.
Wow.
There are also claims of lights turning off and on, faucets running, bathroom and closet doors open and closing, knocking on the door, and even knocking on the ship, on the outside of the ship. And I will say this room, B340, isn't on like the lower or top. It's like in the middle. So if someone was on the outside, it wouldn't be possible for someone to be knocking on the outside.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like when you hear knocking on that side, who the fuck is it? Someone just like propelling down there.
Yeah. The octopus. Hello, what you got in there?
Yeah. The staff also claims to have made the bed, and then right after, the sheets are ripped off.
Okay, listen, dude. You can do this after the guests get here, but if I make this bed, leave it alone.
Right now, I'm just trying to do my job.
Right.
Fuck with the guests.
Right, not me.
I will say a really big thing in this room is knocking. So Sam and Kobe did this. They went to the ship. And from what I understand from all their videos, the Queen Mary is like their first like haunted investigation that made them start believing in haunted stuff.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The knocking is very like intellectual. It'll answer yes and no questions.
Wow.
It'll be knock once for yes, knock twice for no. And it will do that. And it's not like a pattern. It does it sporadically. Like when you answer, like when you ask questions, it
that are
like
yes or no.
Yeah, it answers.
Interesting.
And also in one of their videos, the faucet just turns on. I was like, oh, fuck that.
I'm like, do you want a drink? I don't know how you're going to get it to stay with you.
Yeah. Are you thirsty? Oh, fuck.
You can have the whole room, honey. I'll turn the faucet on. You can undo the bed. Peace out.
Yeah. Due to the haunting that this room has, it was actually closed for 30 years, only being just reopened on April 13th, 2018, which was a Friday the 13th.
Ah, nice. That is a good day to open it. Yeah. I will not be there, thank you.
Yeah. Also, in the room, there is a book of stories of previous experiences and a Ouija board.
Nope.
A crystal ball and tarot cards.
I'm okay with everything except for the Ouija board.
Yeah. Also, in the bathroom on the wall is instructions how to summon the Bloody Mary.
I don't think so. Why? I don't think so.
And then on the wall, like in the room generally, there's also like signatures of people who've been there or stories and stuff like that. Another haunting that is seen a lot is the lady in white. It's said that she's the most seen ghost next to Petter. No one knows who she is or why she's there. She's mostly seen in the Queen Salon, which used to be the first-class lounge/smoking area. When seen, she's mainly just dancing near the piano to no music being played or heard that the human ear can hear anyways. And the last main haunting I want to mention is at the swimming pool. Many people hear splashing and see wet footprints around the pool, even though there is no water in the pool anymore.
That would be freaky.
People claim to see a woman in 1930s-style swimwear with a young woman or kid holding a teddy bear. And then also at the pool is a known young girl named Jackie. And she's known to wander around the area. It is believed that she drowned in the pool, but there's no official record of any drowning on the ship. Many claim to hear her laugh and or talking. And also, if you can get her to do it, she'll play like hide and seek with you.
Okay, maybe. Maybe. Because she's a kid, but still freaked me the fuck out.
Or is it something posing as a kid?
True.
To gain your trust?
And then there's a fuck no on that. Why did they empty the pool?
Because they couldn't swim in it, so they just emptied it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why they kept water in it in the first place.
Yeah.
But in the 1980s, they drained it.
Okay.
I'm assuming it could have been just because it was pointless keeping up with like having the water clean if they even cleaned it and stuff.
Yeah.
And also like
maybe if there was multiple people that drowned, or even the one, and they're like, nah, we ain't doing this anymore.
Yeah. Even though there's no record of anyone drowning, but sometimes places keep stuff secrets. So they don't get blamed for things.
Yeah.
In the pool, a couple like psychics have come in, or just like regular people, and believe that the pool is actually like a vortex.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Yeah. So some popular ghost hunters to visit the Queen Mary and confirm that it's haunted, if you believe what you see in their videos, is Ghost Adventures, Salmon Covey, Most Haunted, The Boys, and Phase Rug, etc. Some of them are like, I think Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted like are actual TV shows, and then the rest are YouTube. YouTube people.
Yeah.
So to kind of finish this off, I went to Reddit and found some stories. I found a Reddit story, and the title is, I spent the night in room B340 on the Queen Mary. I am never doing that again.
I second that. I'm never even going to go.
Everyone knows the Queen Mary is haunted, but there's a difference between reading about it and actually sleeping in it. I finally saved up enough to book stateroom B340. The room they kept locked for 30 years because of the activity was just too much. Let me tell you, it wasn't just creaky pipes. Around 3 a.m., the faucet in the bathroom turned on full blast. I checked it before bed. It was bone dry. Then, the rhythmic banging started. It wasn't coming from the hallway. It was coming from inside the walls of the cabin. I never felt a room go that cold that fast. Has anyone else stayed in this room and had the door handle rattle while they were inside? I swear someone was trying to get in, but when I checked the peephole, there was nothing there but the empty hallway.
Nope.
Now this next story is from a Reddit Ask. This Reddit Ask is, Redditors who have stayed or worked at the haunted Queen Mary ship, do you have stories? The first story. When I was a kid, my mom would take my brother and me on the Queen Mary. One time we went into a roped-off area and explored. I thought I heard a scream, and my mom and brother both thought they heard a baby crying. Later, we bought a book from the gift shop about the Queen Mary, and one of the stories was about hearing the scream of a mom who found her baby dead in the hallway we were in. There were reports mentioning in the book that some people could hear the baby crying, too. Realistically, I just think we let our imaginations get the best of us because we were in an area where we weren't supposed to be in. I've been there lots of times, but that was the only weird thing to happen to us there.
Okay, I would have to say that this person said that when they were a kid is when they heard it. When you're a kid is when you're supposed to be more open to all that. And since it hasn't since then, it could be because you closed off to that.
It said kids are way more open.
Yeah.
And because they're kids in there.
Yeah.
They don't know. They're learning. And yeah. And as you get older, you learn the real harshness of the world and close shit off.
Yeah.
And this is story number 2, and it is the last one I have for this episode anyways. I didn't stay, but I did a tour of the ship. It was the end of the tour where the little girl ghost, I don't remember her name, hangs out by the now drained pool. I felt a small child's hand grab 3 of my fingers and begin to pull me away from the pool, more towards the deck and nearby bar. It should be noted that I can't swim, and had the pool been full still, I would have been nowhere near that room.
Interesting. So maybe the little girl was like, because maybe she sees it that it's still full.
Yeah.
So she's like,
come on, get away.
Yeah. Aw.
Maybe. Or it's trying to lure him into a fucking trap with... Yeah. So you can get a demon shoved up your ass.
Well, that escalated quickly.
I'm just saying. Just be careful out there and protect your ass.
Clench, always.
Tape that shit off. I mean, realistically, there's so many videos out there, and I've actually seen a lot of those videos. And some of the stuff is, I believe it. Some of the stuff's like, I don't know about that. Really.
Or maybe partial.
Yeah. I will say that, like, Sam and Kobe do these flashlight tests, and that's what really gets me. They're just flashlights that you can buy from Home Depot, and
Yeah.
all you do is you twist the cap on and off to turn the flashlight on.
Okay.
And they'll like put it so it's like right before you turn it on,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's still off.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll set up 2 flashlights, but they're different colors. And sometimes they use that for like questions like, turn on the red one for this, turn on the blue one for this.
Yeah.
And some places it doesn't happen. Some
Mhm.
places it will just like turn on and off right away after questions.
Hmm.
And it's like it gets me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think that's just like one thing that really gets me about at least their investigations.
Yeah.
Whereas like Ghost Adventures, I don't necessarily believe everything they do
Yeah.
because I feel like they dramatize everything.
And a lot of times, I don't think you need to, especially with like this type of stuff. Like, I know you want to get views. I completely understand that. But you don't want to make it to where it seems fake.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know.
Like Sam and Colby, they have had places that they went and spend like 6 to 12 hours in these
Mhm.
places just filming.
Yeah.
And they've had places where that 6 to 12 hours of film was just trashed because nothing happened.
Yeah. So I get that too. Like, they want to create something.
Yeah. And I will say that long ass video gets turned down to 1 to 2 hours and
Mhm.
posted.
Yeah.
And it's just mainly the most like spookiest parts.
Yeah. If there's any.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just them fucking around. And that's where I get the demon in the ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all I have really for today. And if you like spooky stuff, I definitely would go to YouTube and look up some.
Yeah. Or go and book a room.
Yeah, book a room.
And say that Girls Gone Curious podcast sent you.
Yeah. And like come back and we'll interview you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. But we're not going. I'm sorry. I'll talk about it all I want, but I'm not going. I will live vicariously through other people.
Right.
As long as it's not happening to me.
Right.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, I hoped everyone enjoyed this non-murder because it was more of a light case.
Definitely.
And I can't say that for your case, so your upcoming case.
No, it's I have been on an emotional roller coaster, so
Yeah. And I do want to mention this next couple weeks are going to be a little different. We're not necessarily going to have 2 true crime episodes back to back just because we have vacation coming up and some stuff is just not working out.
Right.
So we're doing it a different way.
right. Still gonna drop our episodes on the same days, just gonna be a little different.
Yeah.
So with that, that's all we have for today. If you have any questions, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Girls Gone Curious Podcast. Until next time.